All right, so hopefully this is recording today and you'll get all this information. But again, you've come into Coach Irby's classroom. It's room 26. It says it all in there, and this is world history, and this is your syllabus. Our textbook is down front. We'll talk more about the textbook tomorrow as we get into how the online format's changed a little bit. But what you'll need for this class is a pencil, paper, and a 3-ring binder, and you should be fine. As it says at the top, we'll learn about the cultural developments around the world. We try to really focus on that perspective of what the world was doing, not America. You're going to learn a lot about American history, so we try to focus on what the world was doing. We go from 1500 to the present, so we start at the Renaissance. Y'all kind of got cut short last year. You would have learned about the Renaissance a little bit. You didn't. You probably stopped with China, I think is where Coach Kilpatrick said y'all finished, or you got to talk about. And then we'll go all the way till modern terrorism. So we'll talk about, terrorist attacks and things that happened in just the recent past. But we'll analyze historical documents and those things, and we'll have a lot of fun. Some really cool stuff, World War I, World War II, French Revolution, Renaissance. Those are some cool things. This document details the rules and consequences of this class and the grading policy. So it's got a lot of different stuff in it. Some of the basic rules: be on time. I get here an hour early to school. You can be on time for this class, okay? I'm pretty lenient with it, but, if you're 20 minutes late, I'm going to ask you where you were. Be respectful. Again, that goes back to what you call me and I call you. Be responsible, do what you're supposed to do, and be resourceful. Ask for help or get help from a classmate best you can. I've never had to go past number 2 on the consequences, so let's not get past that one. Like I said, warning. That means I'll just be like, hey, Carter, stop doing whatever you're doing. I'm just calling Carter out right now. He's not doing anything wrong. Or number 2, I'll give you a riding assignment if he doesn't stop doing what he's doing. But like I said, he's not doing anything. That could be with your cell phone. That could be with anything. Like I said, if I have to, I'll contact your parents. That'll be very easy for me this year. And then 4, I'll send you to the office. And like I said, I've never had to do that. So those are the basic rules and consequences. The next things are procedures. They're real simple, but they make up the basis of how this class works. You will have bell work every day. It will always be a discussion question, and some days it will be so easy. It will be as easy as, what is the Renaissance, or what do you think the Renaissance means? And then you'll answer that question. And if I ask you what you think something means, I want to know what you think it means, not Google. So don't Google it. Just write down what you think it means. Doesn't mean that you're going to be right or wrong. I don't care. I just want to know what you think it means. Because if you think the Renaissance is the fair that they have in Florence, then I've got to do some teaching. But if you think it's the rebirth of art and learning in the 13 to 1600s, then you'd be on the right track. So that's for me. If I ask you what you're thinking, I want to know what you're thinking. It's okay if you're wrong. So you'll have bell work every day. It's usually going to be a discussion question, and it will pertain to the lesson we're going to have that day or the one we had previously. You do have to stay in your seating assignments. We have to stay 6 feet apart, and so I'm going to clean all the desks in between periods. And so I'm trying to keep those as cleaned and spaced out as possible. We have to send these seating assignments to the nurse. I'm going to skip late work and come back to it. All assignments this year are on Schoology, all of them. Now, again, special exceptions, special instructions, I'll give you paper copies like I did today, but preferably we want to get to where they're all on Schoology. If you have a special circumstance, you need to let me know. But all assignments are on Schoology this year, and you'll turn them in on Schoology, and we'll talk about that in a second. That correlates with the due dates. This year's a little different. You've probably seen this in some of your other classes. Everything in this class is due on Sunday. Some of your other classes like that? Yes? That's what we just felt was easier. Does everybody in this class have internet at their house? Wi-Fi? Yeah, we're good? Yeah, good. But we just know how technology can be sometimes. It doesn't work. I mean, in the 2 weeks we were here working before y'all got here, the internet went out 2 days. It happens. So we know that. So there's a little leeway. So every assignment's due at 11:59 on Sunday. That's whether I give it to you on Monday or Friday. Going back to late work, if you let me know you're going to have trouble turning it in, I'll give you a 2-day grace period to turn it in late. That means I won't count off at all. I'll just let you turn it in. But if you don't let me know, then it's late. Don't care if you had any problems or not. You need to communicate those things to me. I don't mind late work. I usually assess a 10-point penalty, but I'll give you those 2 days grace period on special circumstances. Turning in all assignments will be on Schoology, preferably like a PDF form. You've got a bunch of ways you could turn them in through Cami, through, which we'll talk about tomorrow, through Google Drive, resource app, or just turn it in through a PDF, and those all work that way. But turn all your assignments in on Schoology. If you don't, you see the trays that are on the front shelf here. You also be the fourth tray. So 1, 2, 3, 4, where the index cards are. That's where you turn everything in. Dismissal, I know y'all hate this one, but the clock doesn't dismiss you. I will. I promise I will. This class ends at 11:35. I will let you leave at 11:35. I really don't want to spend any more time with Charlie than I have to. She's just too much to handle, okay? So I will let you go, I promise. And I'm just kidding about Charlie, but I really will let you go as soon as you're supposed to go, okay? Going to the restroom, I don't mind you going to the restroom. Not at all. There's a hall pass right over there. It says Coach Irby's hall pass. It's really easy to figure out what the hall pass is. It's a clipboard. Okay, you take it, you go to the restroom, you come back, you put it back on there. All you gotta do is ask me to go to the restroom. I'll let you go, one at a time though. Okay. When I'm out of the room, stay on task. You know, you'll have something to do each day. So if I leave the room, 1, stay in your seat. 2, stay on task. Do whatever you're supposed to be doing. If you're supposed to be sitting there being quiet, just do that. Put your head down. That's fine. If you're supposed to be working on something, do those things until I return. In case of emergency, in case I chop my arm off, what are you supposed to do? Panic? No, don't panic. Stay calm. If I chop my arm off, get that red thing. There's a tourniquet in there. Help me put that thing on there so I save my arm. Okay? You're not going to save it. It's fine. I'm not going to chop my arm off. You never know. You never know. I might I could fall on this desk and it just, it's real sharp, you know. Also, don't let it fall out the window. There's a gigantic frog out there, and I think he would eat it. He's like this big. It's huge. I'm not kidding. You'll hear him every once in a while. Once it gets wet, gets a little colder, he'll start barking. Barks like a dog. But seriously, no, if an emergency happened, if somebody fell out, if I got sick, or, stay calm. Call the office with my phone. It's right over here by my computer. And then go get Miss Tipper across the hall, or across the door, or across next door, or Miss J, or Miss Young, and get some help, okay? When you're absent, this one's going to come into play a little bit more tomorrow. Usually, the assignment board over to my left has all your assignments on it. I'm not doing it this year because you're only going to be here 2 days. So I did it digitally. So there's a thing called the work schedule. You'll click it. We'll talk about it more tomorrow, but you'll click it and you'll find your assignments for that day and you'll do them, okay? That's kind of how it happens when you're absent, because y'all will be absent technically 3 days a week. Test taking, your test taking will always be here, and you all will always take it on Fridays. So, very easy. You'll always take tests on Fridays. Anyways, y'all will always take tests on Fridays because y'all are Thursday, Friday kids. Usually I give tests on Fridays, so y'all get them on Fridays. It's very easy for y'all. Monday, Tuesday kids, they'll take their test on Mondays. So, it's a little different. So all your tests will be on Fridays. Tardiness, again, don't be tardy. This, again, be on time. I'm pretty lenient with that, but, if you're 20 minutes late to class, you're tardy. And then lastly, cell phones, jewels, vapes. Board policy is you're not supposed to have your cell phone out in class, so don't. I won't take it if you don't have it out. Secondly,
teachers, please pardon this interruption before we dismiss our fourth period. We'll be going to lunch. During the fifth period, students, we must maintain our social distancing during the cafeteria time. YRB will be utilizing the entire cafeteria. We're asked that each student have 2 seats in between the next student and do not sit directly across from someone. It's sit diagonal. So we'll need to maintain our social distancing while we're eating lunch. Teachers also remember not to have your students get a to-go plate and eat in the classroom or outside, but make sure that the students are supervised if they eat in a classroom or outside. Thank you.
all right, and we'll talk about that in a second. But, board policy says you can't have a jewel vape, any of those things. I see it, I can't take it, it's gone. You don't ever get it back. So don't bring those jewels, vapes, any things like that to school. Don't use them in this class, and don't be on your cell phone. It's very easy, simple. Grading policy is right under that. Bell work is worth 10% of the grade. Classwork is worth 20%. Projects and research papers, things like that, would be 20%, and tests are worth 50%. Research papers and projects, those could come into play pretty big because if we only do 2 of them, you need to make pretty good on both of them. The tests, you're going to see that those are pretty easy. You shouldn't have any trouble with those as long as you study. Bell work, again, that's easy. It's like what you did today. Be very quick. You'll get it done. Classwork could be anything pertaining to exit tickets, notes, worksheets, graphic organizers, a bunch of different things could be classwork. Okay, and we talked about all those things and through there. You can see the summary there. If you do well on your bell work, if you do well on your classwork, you can even bump your test grades up a little bit. So say you made B's on all your tests, and then you come out with an A because you did all your bell work and your classwork. So that can help you out at least some. And last thing is the supply list. I ask that you, in this class, bring 1 bottle or 1 case, 1 container of disinfecting wipes, which I'm using them like crazy because I'm wiping your desk down all the time. Okay? Are there any questions about the syllabus and about what this class is for? And what we do in this class? It's usually bell work, classwork, exit ticket of some time. Like I said, if there's any questions, you can review this video, this recording at the YouTube channel, and we'll talk more about that tomorrow as well. Okay?